And we are live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to week 46 of the Virtual Assistant Principal Leadership Academy. We're in our shout out moment right now for the next 5 minutes. So come on in. Come on in. Make your presence felt. Who are you and where you checking in from? How long you been with us? We got Demetrius Scott in the building. Sean Gibson's here. Rasul Wright is in the building. Angel Long is in the building. We got Tiana Bocart in the building. Continuously L in the building. Come on in. Come on in. Let me know where you coming from. Tiana Wright. Bradley's in the building. John Herricks is in the building. Janine Wilkins, all the way from Alaska's in the building. Denise LaRosa checking in from Pittsburgh in the building. Michael Benton checking in from Cincinnati in the building. Sarah Thon, Marvin Morley, Katrina Washington, Hiram Sumlin, Alexis Wheely is in the building. We got a lot of folks in the building. Come on in, check out. Come on in, check in and let me know where you coming from. Where are you? How long you been with us? This is week number 46 consecutively, no breaks. Just week 46. We've been going straight through. We're going all the way to 55, and then I'll let you know what we're going to do once we get to 55. But here we go. Lewis Saunders, my man, my colleague is in the building. Miss Ketching is in the building. Good to see you. Lily Lanier is in the building. Wife Kimberly Kafele, Broughton Kafele is in the building. Byrie Collins, you change, you start putting your full name. Byrian, I think it's pronounced. I know about Byrie, is in the building. Aaron Packard, my man, is in the building. Jennifer Griffin's in the building. Come on in, folks. Rodney Richardson is in the building. TB Summers, always here in the building. Superintendent Finch is always here in the building. Donna Scherer Gant is in the building. And let me tell you, Donna is big time on the shares. I appreciate it too. Hit that share button, somebody. Some of you belong to those groups. Hit them groups up, right? The various principal groups, the various Black Educator Rock groups, there's a lot of groups out there. Hit them up. Let them know we're back. Week number 46. We got Marvin Moore Jr. in the building. Jesse Roxanne's in the building. Falk SLC is in the building. Raul Collins. Anna Lopez Gray is in the building. Charlena Hadi is in the building. And you guys keep in mind, there's my guy, Josh Tovar. I didn't realize he does a podcast every Saturday morning. I think it's about 9 o'clock. So go to his page, check it out. Him and his crew. So check out Josh Tovar. He does his does a Facebook Live, does a leadership talk with some other principals, some other school leaders. There's one of my former students, Junette Brown, is in the building. We go back to Sojourner Truth Middle School in East Orange, New Jersey, when she was in like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That's back in maybe I'm telling too much, right, Junette? Back in the 90s, right, going into the 2000s. Terry Burks is in the building. Ingrid Rito is in the building. Karen Fletcher is in the building. Mr. J. Robinson is here. Sharice Boswell Anderson is in the building. Terry Burks, I might have said that one already. I'm not sure. Dina Alameda is in the building. Mr. J. Robinson is checked in. AQ is here. Come on in, folks. Hit that retweet button. Hit that share button. We're on 4 different platforms. We're on Facebook, my main page. We're on Virtual AP Leadership Academy on Facebook. We're on Twitter, my page, and we're on Virtual AP Leadership Academy on YouTube. So we got a lot of folks checking in from all over the place. Let me know if you've been with me for 46 weeks. Some of you, the newbies may be saying 46 weeks. I just heard about you last week. You've been doing this for 46 weeks. Ohio girls in the building. I'm getting ready to get it started too. Who else we got here? We got Crystal Nolan Brandon. Edwina Vincent is in the building. Baba Tunji. Oh man, the name went quickly on me. Where we got here? Can I get it? Can I get it back? Yeah. Muata Ifarinu is in the building. Listen here, folks. I think it's about that time So hit that retweet again, hit that share again, and let me get it started by saying to you now formally, good morning. Man, that sounded weak. Let me do that again. Good morning. That's better. Greetings. Welcome to the 46th edition of the virtual AP Leadership Academy. Man, 46 weeks. It was supposed to be 18, and here we are at 46. I don't know about you. I think I know. You checked in this morning, but I can only speak definitively about myself. But I don't know about you, but if I could just speak for me for a moment, I'm on fire. You know, I got to get that out every week. I only say that once a week. You know, I feel the fire all week, but I only actually say that on Saturday morning. I just got to get it out. I got to release it. But I don't even think you heard me. You didn't hear me because I was whispering. Let me get that to you one more time. I just want you to know how I feel right now. I'm on fire. Woo! That's how I'm feeling. I'm blazing. And the reason, I tell you every week, because I mean, I've been keeping up with the news all week, and it's like, it's crazy, man. I mean, states are lowering their restrictions or eliminating, and the masks are coming off, and the social distance is disappearing, and the virus is still here, and they up in each other's faces, and they are spitting. I'm gonna just use let me just be raw. They spitting at each other, not knowing if they're asymptomatic. I see it. I'm trying to get back on them airplanes. I'm trying to get back in person speaking, not doing this on Zoom all week long. I'm trying to get back. And now these certain states, I won't call them out here, but hey, y'all, come on down. We back to normal, back to normal. So despite seeing that, despite witnessing that, I'm still on fire because I'm not going to let it extinguish my flame. If that's how y'all want to behave, and you want to be laying up in a hospital, and you want to lose your job and all that, look, do what you got to do. I'm doing just fine making my money right on this computer. This little area right here, I was telling my son last night, I do quite well financially by just sitting here and running my mouth. So if that's what folks want to do, you go ahead and do what you got to do. Do you. Go to the bar, go to the restaurant, go to the game, go to the party, do you. Well, I'm going to get mine right here. I ain't going to be in nobody's hospital. I ain't going to be without a job because I'm on my job. This is my job, this little space right here, right? So that's on you. My fire is going to be blazing. That's my point, right? So let me get away from the current events and let me get back. My message today, my motivational message before we get to the message of the hour. My motivational message is don't you ever quit on your dream. You might want to hit that retweet at this moment because it's somebody who already quit. They out there. They don't know I'm on this morning. Or they're out there, or they don't think my topic might be relevant to their needs today. Don't you ever quit on your dream. See, there will be people in the world who will quit on you. There will be people in the world who will give up on you. We know that. We've all experienced it. So we know what that is. But I'm saying you can't quit on you. That's the point I'm making. I'm saying that you can't quit on your dream. So you're on this broadcast, chances are good that you're either an administrator, which I'd rather say school leader, or you're an aspiring school leader. You're probably one or the other. And I'm saying to you that when the going gets tough, when the challenges become greater, when the obstacles are higher, I'm saying that's not the time to quit. That's the time to regroup. That's the time to kind of plan differently, plot differently, and get yourself ready for the new challenge, not to raise the white flag and throw in the towel and I give up. I can't do this. Let me move in another direction and try something else. That's not the time for that. So I'm saying to you, don't you ever quit on your dream. If your dream was principal and they didn't hire you, you went on 20 interviews, you went on 25 interviews, and you still can't get it. That's what today's lesson is today. So I got that. But before I get there, I'm saying to you, don't you dare quit. You work too hard to get to where you are. To let someone on the other side of the desk discourage you, and now you don't want it anymore. Let me try something else. It has nothing to do with your qualifications, has nothing to do with your passion, has nothing to do with your dream, but you have given up. You have quit. You have thrown in the towel. I'm saying to you from Jersey City, New Jersey this morning, don't you give up. Don't you quit on your dream. Enough said. I got a word of the week / word of the day, and then we ready to go. My word of the week this week is optimism. Yes, optimism. And I'm saying to you that despite the world, despite the challenges, or if we can narrow it, despite your world, because see, we all got our own world. Despite your world, you must remain optimistic. See, you must keep your bar high for yourself, and you must remain optimistic. You've got to believe. You've got to know that despite my challenges, despite my obstacles, despite my pressures, despite the demands, I got this. I'm going to make it happen. It may take a little longer. It may require a few more bruises on my body. I may get a little more blood on my knees from crawling. I may wear out my jeans in the knees from crawling, but I'm still going to get there. And my testimony will be phenomenal. It'll be better than yours because I had to go a different journey, a more difficult journey. So maybe you, competitor, you walked a straight line, but I had to go all this meandering to get to the same point. I got more appreciation in my destination because of my process. See, that's the mindset you got to have. That's optimism. Despite how difficult, despite how dark the days, you're going to believe in your possibility, and then your testimony is going to benefit the masses, right? So optimism. Let me get into this, y'all, real quick. We got new people on here. Look, there's a book that goes with this academy. It's called The Assistant Principal 50. You can get it anywhere education books are sold. Amazon. Matter of fact, if you got 2 devices, just go to your phone right now. If you're looking on your tablet or computer, go ahead and get it now. I mean, it's quick. You Prime member. Just go ahead and click the button, get your book. And while you're at it, you'll see that there are other books by this author. Get The Aspiring Principal 50. I think I got 8 books on Amazon, right? 8 or 9, whatever it is. But get these 2 for now. We'll talk about the other ones another time. Get the Aspiring Principal 50 and the Assistant Principal 50. Make sure you have them both. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, ASCD, the publisher.org. Get that, get it from there. PrincipalCafele.com, wherever. Just get it, right? Have it, because there's so much great information in there toward being an effective assistant principal, but also helping you to transition into the principalship, which is vital, right? Make sure you subscribe to my channel, Virtual AP Leadership Academy. That's where all these videos are. So 'cause a lot of people, they say to me, they'll see the topic when I promote it during the week. Are you going to record it? Of course I'm going to record it. It's recording live right now on YouTube. So it's sitting right there now. It'll be there forever, or when I get bored looking at myself and I take them down, because the older videos I delete because I'm like, man, I'm not that big anymore. Like, my face is thinner. I don't want to see that. I don't want other people to see it. So I delete those, So make sure you follow that, subscribe to that, and follow and like the Virtual AP Leadership page on Facebook. Hit the share button. And then lastly, my mother's on here. She reminded me I'm wearing my shirt today. Negro Leagues, Washington Potomacs, right? The Washington Potomacs. This is the old team. It doesn't even have a number on the back. They didn't start putting numbers on the back until like the 1920s. So this is an old team, but I wear these. For those of you who are new, this is what I wear for all broadcasts, all 46 so far. When I put these on in the morning, there's a mirror right here. I put them on right here, and I'm like feeling like Superman, like with pride, the Negro League ball players. And it's just a big deal for me. So I look forward. This the only time I wear these is on these Saturday mornings. The only time I say I'm on fire is these Saturday mornings. So Saturday mornings is a time of rejuvenation for me, right? No, the Grays not in Washington. That's Homestead, right? Homestead Grays, Raj Ritchie. So let's go. Let's go, y'all. My topic today. So you didn't get the job. So you didn't get the job. Somebody said, finally, he's on the topic because I didn't get the job. Yeah. So you didn't get the job. Okay. Now what? Capital letters. Now what? You didn't get the job. Now what? Oh man, we're gonna talk about that. I tried to make a 1 hour agenda because I did 2 hours last week. I know y'all was like, man, he went 2 hours. I don't think I made a 2 hour agenda this time. I think I'm gonna be able to race through this one, but I want to stay on that title for a minute. Let me sit up, y'all. I'm kind of slouching here. Let me stay on that title for a minute. You didn't get the job. Okay. Didn't happen this time. But Principal Kafele, I watched your videos over and over. Those interview videos you have on YouTube. I mean, I watched them over and over. I was listening to them on the way to work every day. I was listening to them on the way to the interview. Right. I listened to them all night. You should see my notepad, man. I got pages and pages from those videos. And then, whatever other information I got from other sources outside of you, man, I was ready. I went in that interview. I felt like I hit it out the park. I left out of there feeling good about myself, good about the interview. And they went with somebody else. Man, Principal Kafele, I get these emails, y'all. I'm feeling deflated. I'm feeling down. Principal Kafele, can you give me a pep talk? I get these emails, y'all. I get these inboxes. I get these DMs. Principal Kafele, man, I don't know what else I could do. Well, that's why I made this today. That's why I'm talking to you today. And I'm going to tell you something. Listen to me, y'all. I know that somebody's probably saying, hurry up. But I got to tell you something. Luther Vandross, that's like my man. Right? If you don't know Luther, you better Google him. But make sure you put Vandross because you might get the wrong Luther, right? So Luther Vandross, right? And when I used to go see him perform, he would say, like it'd be all these screaming people. Me and my wife there, she wasn't even my fiance, but she was my girlfriend, right? So we would go see Luther at Madison Square Garden. And he was on the revolving stage, right? He didn't have that square, that rectangular stage. It was revolving. It was only him on the stage and a mic stand. The band wasn't on stage with him, just him and the mic stand. And it would revolve slowly so everybody could get a perfect view of the man, Luther, right? Luther. So now, like when you go to a show, you want to hear all the hits, but you don't know. You don't know what they're going to sing. So here's what Luther would say. Luther said, he would say to the audience, I'm going to take my time singing these love songs. Everybody scream, ah! Let me say that again to y'all because I'm tying this into this presentation. He said, I'm going to take my time singing these love songs. See, in other words, Luther said, I ain't rushing this show. He said, I know what you paid to come in here. So I'm not rushing this show so we could be out of the arena. He said, I'm going to take my time singing these love songs. So let me tell you something. It's people on here that didn't get the job. I'm going to take my time singing these love songs. See, I'm going to take my time with this message. You got your pad out? You got this? Your pad and your pen? Because I'm going to break this down. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Number one, Kim Wilson Daniels out there taking notes, I think. I didn't see her yet, but I'm making the assumption. And I got 13 questions. I hope nobody's superstitious. I got 13 questions, but I got a whole lot of indicators, man. So here we go. Number one, do I know why I didn't land the position? Do I know why I didn't land the position? Do I know why? See, you got to know why, because as you prepare for the next one, first, you can't start preparation for the next one until you know why you did not get this one. So let's break that down. I put these in these indicators. What I got, about 8, I got them in letters, so 7 of them. Number 1, I'm calling this letter A for Kim Wilson Daniel. She's at Kim Wilson Daniel, at Kim Wilson Daniel on Twitter. Kimberly Wilson Daniel, LY on Facebook, right? So letter A, you must follow up. I put the most obvious one first. You must follow up with an email or a phone call and ask specifically, why was I not offered a position? Ask them. Have the audacity to ask the question. And as a matter of fact, let's back up. Have the audacity to make the phone call. Have the audacity to send the email, to write the email and to send the email. Have the audacity to ask the question. I mean, if you prepared all this time and now someone sent you a standard letter that says, you were very good candidate, but we went with a different person, right? And then leave it there? No. You got to pick up the phone like, okay, Superintendent so-and-so, whoever interviewed you, could you let me know, like, what was it about my interviewing or about me, my resume, whatever it was, what prevented me from landing this job? Have the audacity to pose the question, whether it be phone, whether it be email, if they gave you permission to text, whatever it is, ask them. You have nothing to lose, but their response may help you to gain. See, you have nothing to lose, but their response may help you to gain. It may give you more ammunition for the next interview. So have the audacity. And I'm saying in letter B, the reasons may or they may not help you. They may tell you something that you can't use, but they may tell you something that you can use, but you will never know if you didn't ask the question, right? So press them. Like, what was it about me? What was it about my experience? What was it about the way I interviewed? Whatever the case may be, what was it that prevented me from landing this position? Letter C, let them know that you are still interested in the position for future opportunities. Let them know. Because although this district did not offer you a position, it doesn't mean that the door is slammed shut. It just means you didn't get that position. So if you didn't get that position, let them know, well, I just want you to know that I'm still interested in working in this district. It may be the district that you already work in, but it may not. Whatever it is, let them know, but I still have an interest. Don't get frustrated. They tell you, oh, okay. All right, well, later. Right? Like, don't feel that way. I purposely didn't use the word frustrated because we're going to nail that word in a little while. Right? So don't let yourself be at the point where, all right, later for them, because I'm not coming back here anymore. No, let them know. Okay, I understand, but I want you to know that I still want to take advantage of whatever future opportunities may arise, so that they know that you're still interested, right? Because you may have been very impressive. It's just that they had somebody else for whatever the reason, and we're gonna talk about that too. And they went with that person. Your opportunity might be the next one. See, so always keep that in mind. Always keep it in mind. Letter D. I want to make sure that you understand fully the difference between features and benefits. Once again, I need you to understand the difference between features and benefits. See, you may have gone on that interview, and let me say to you, last week with the 2 hours we did on the interviewing, I'm calling this part 2. Right? Even though it has a different title, it's an extension of it, right? So part 2. So, and I wanted to say that because of this letter D, difference between features and benefits. See, here's the thing. You could have been on that interview and you're telling them all of your attributes, your features. I do this, I do that, I did this, I did that, we achieved this, we achieved that. So you're telling them all the features. If you take me to a auto dealership, right, and the salesperson starts talking to me about the features of the car. Oh, it's got this kind of engine. It's got this level of horsepower in it. It's got this kind of transmission. You may as well say that to me in a foreign language that I don't speak. You may as well do that because I don't know what you're talking about. These are probably great features for someone who's into all the technicalities of a car. I'm not. If you want to sell me the car, don't sell me on the features. Sell me on the benefits. See, that's a different conversation, y'all. Sell me on the benefits. In other words, this car will do what for me, right? This car, this seat is heated. As soon as you get in, even though you're in Jersey and it could be 0 degrees wind chill, well, as soon as your butt sits in that chair, you're going to feel nice and warm. And then when you touch the steering wheel, your hands will be nice and warm. See, benefits, not the feature, but the benefit, what I'm going to feel when I'm in there. So now here you are in the interview. Oh, but last year I did this and I did that and I accomplished this and we were really good at this. Okay. Well, what that got to do with me? See, that's what the superintendent's thinking right now. See, in other words, the benefit by hiring me, we're able to elevate the achievement because here's what I had done previously in a similar capacity. So by bringing me in, the district is a higher probability that the district achievement levels are going to increase. See, the benefit. Not just what you did. See, what you did at the other school or in the other capacity, I mean, that's good, but I need to feel like there's a benefit for me in hiring you. Always, I could do a whole presentation just on features and benefits, and I'm trying to restrain myself from getting too deep with that because I think you guys understand the difference between a feature and a benefit. The feature of this book is that it's a book on assistant principal leadership. The benefit is by reading this book, you will become a better assistant principal and be prepared to become a principal. Do you see the difference? See, feature. Oh, it's a great book. Great content. Good read. Feature. Benefit. You will be a better leader because you read it. See, you got to make sure that when you're in that interview, you are selling benefits. Not just features. You can talk about the feature, but you better close with that benefit. See, know the difference. Maybe when you were on the interview, you were feature. And you didn't see, when you talk in Betsy, I'm trying not to get deep into this. When you talk in benefits, you're painting these word pictures. See, it's very different from features. You're putting the person interviewing you in a space where they can feel your presence in that capacity. See, they feel you doing the work. It's like you're in there already because you have created something, this benefit. So distinguish the two and put your emphasis on benefits, right? I think I'm a master at that as far as just me in terms of how I go about promoting myself in whatever the capacity, the genre that I'm promoting myself, because I'm very benefits conscious, right? No, letter E, under the question, do I know why I didn't land the position? I was doing an interview last night and the voice left right when we finished. So I got to be prepared for that. Never sell what you can't deliver. Huh. See, you could go in there and inflate yourself and sort of elevate yourself to this Superman, Superwoman, and then you get in there and you can't be that person. See, yes, you want to be convincing, but don't oversell. Don't sell what you can't deliver. You know who you are. You know your limitations. You know your deficiencies. So don't go in there saying that I'm X, Y, and Z when really you're just A, B, and C. Yes, you want to be convincing that you're the person for the job, but don't oversell it. Because if you oversell it, not only will you probably not get the job anyway, but here's the point. When you're overselling, it's they detect that. They know. They know. See, when you're in there being dishonest, which is overselling, they know. They understand. So make sure that you don't oversell. And then you do land the position and you can't deliver on the promises that you made. Letter F. I wrote this one. I said, man, I'm going to read this one as it is. Within my soul, am I convinced beyond the shadow of a doubt that I am ready, prepared, and qualified to lead a school? Man, let that process for a minute. Let me say it again. Within my soul, wherever that is, somewhere in here, within my soul, am I convinced beyond the shadow of a doubt that I am ready, prepared, and qualified to lead? So in other words, I'm putting under the question, we're in number one, do I know why I didn't land the position? If within your soul, you know you're not ready, you know you're not qualified, you know you're not prepared, guess what? That's coming across in the interview, because you're going to be in there fumbling and carrying on, because you know deep down within, you're not ready for this. And you cannot go to an interview not ready. You got to go into the interview fully prepared, fully ready, fully feeling qualified for the work. But if you can't go in there with that, it's going to come out in your delivery. It's going to come out in your presentation. It's going to come out in the way that you communicate with the interviewer. So see, that's some mental exercising that you have to do to ensure that you go in there just mentally, psychologically, emotionally ready to hit the ball out of the park. See, that's on you. And then finally, letter G for number one. This is a big one. I wrote this in capital letters. Lack of experience. So let me go back to the question. Do I know why I didn't land the position? And here I wrote lack of experience. So we hear that. Well, we went with the more experienced candidate. We hear that. You know something about that, somebody out here. We went with the more experienced candidate, right? Well, here's the thing. And I put some notes on here to myself, but I'm going to share some of them with you. I said, number one, let me go back to last week's session. Remember this? Remember this? Toot. See, listen, if I have no experience, that's not going to set me back, right? My mother's on here. She used to tell me about my aunt, her sister, and how her sister didn't have experience. I forget what kind of job it was now, but it was when she came out of college and she had zero experience. But she told him she understood the job. So between interview and decision making, between initial contact and the interview, she went and did all this research. My mother's probably sitting there thinking like, wow, you remembered that? I told you that like decades ago. She went and did all this research on the job, on the industry, and came back to the interview knowing this stuff like she had been working it for years and got the job. See, so I'm saying here, lack of experience. Well, on the one hand, I said that tooting your horn, but on the other hand, remember the video I did on the resume? Maybe your resume is grossly misconstructed, because you have certain experience in life, but you have to craft that experience in a way that ties into what you're going to do. And maybe you have shortchanged yourself, and now your resume doesn't tell your complete story. It doesn't have it. I listen to people read my bio before I speak. And, sometimes people are impressed. Oh, wow, you did this, you did that. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I mean, I like it too. I'm impressed by, the work I've done. But but I'm thinking to myself, but that's not my story. That's not my full story. Yeah, that's a smidgen. That's a fraction. There's more to me, but that's all I need to put out there for a keynote address. But I'm saying to you, your resume You want to make sure your story is not only told accurately, but you want to make sure that your story is told in a way that it better positions you for this position. So it says to the person interviewing you that yes, you do have the experience. You may not have the experience under a certain title, but you have certain experience. I'm saying here, these were notes I wrote for myself, not even to share with you, but I'm gonna read it with you. Man, my voice, I'm gonna make it, but I'm gonna struggle. You can't allow the interviewer to use this as an excuse not to hire you. Now, that was a personal note for me, right? That you can't allow the interviewer to use your lack of experience as an excuse not to hire you, because you've got to be so skilled in your presentation. You've got to be so skilled in your resume writing. And if you're not skilled in resume writing, you might want to hire somebody who is. Maybe that's not your forte. Right? And we're going to talk a little bit about writing too, because I see some stuff on social media. So, but that's going to be toward the end, right? I see some folks that need to like not be putting writing comments and post on social media because the grammar is like really bad. But we're going to get to that, right? So, but for now, I'm saying that resume has to tell your story in a way that it convinces the interviewer that, wow, you do have experience. Right? It's just not under that title, but you have the experience, right? And then while those of you who are not going to interview right now, and you know, I'm telling you, if you don't know that the interviewer is going to ask for certain experience, then I'm saying to you, start volunteering for those positions in your job, not looking for compensation, just going to your current principal and volunteering your services to do X, Y, and Z, so that you can gain that experience, right? So, because ultimately you must be thorough, confident, convincing, and compelling in that interview, right? Let me say that again. You might want to write these 4 words down. You must be thorough, you must be confident, you must be convincing, and you must be compelling in that interview. Right? So, and when I say that, I'm putting it in the context of experience, that despite the fact that you haven't been a principal before, you had a wealth of experience as an AP, but you got to know how to word that. Right? Even if you spend a lot of time disciplining, you didn't do it 24/7. I know that. You did some other things, but you didn't accentuate it. You got to accentuate it. You got to be convincing. Right? So let me keep going. That was number 1. We got a long way to go. Number 2. Do I understand that every interview isn't meant for me to land the position? Whoa. Hey, somebody, hit that share button for me. Hit that retweet. Let Facebook, let them know we on here breaking this stuff down. Tell them we still in the beginning stages, so we got a lot to cover. Hit those groups up, whatever groups you belong to. Hit them up. Share Twitter, hit that retweet for them. Let them know we on here. We're breaking it down. You don't have to keep going through interview after interview of frustration of not landing a position. I'm telling you what you got to do so that you can bounce back. So do I understand that every interview isn't meant for me to land a position? Wow, what are you saying, Principal Kafele? I'm glad you asked. Let's look at it. I'm saying you must avoid frustration from setting in at all costs. You didn't get it. All right. But no need for frustration. Not with all these positions out here, not with all these opportunities out here, or opportunities that you may create. I mean, you might feel some level of disappointment, I guess, but don't get frustrated. Like, oh man, you walking around angry like a ticking time bomb. No. The mindset has got to be. Remember how I start off every Saturday morning? I'm on fire. Kills my voice when I do that, but still in all, I make my point that I'm on fire. Well, I'm saying to you, okay, and I tell you the context for. I say the world is tough right now, but I'm still on fire. Well, I didn't get the job today, but I'm still on fire. See, that's how that's got to be. Not I didn't get the job and now I'm frustrated. Now, oh man, oh God, oh my God, and making all these, all these accusations. Come on, man. Bounce back. So you must avoid frustration from setting in at all costs. Letter B, you must avoid discouragement from setting in at all costs. And that's why I started off with that message that I started off with, right? That you can never quit on your dream, that you must always remain optimistic. How you going to be optimally effective and you are walking around discouraged and frustrated? You can't be. You cannot be optimally effective while simultaneously frustrated and discouraged. And I'll add letter C, you must avoid sadness and disappointment from setting in at all costs. So now here you are, you're frustrated, you're discouraged, you're disappointed, you're sad, and you think you're going to go in there with the flames that are necessary, the fire that's necessary, and you are walking around having a personal pity party? Or maybe even dragging people into it, and now they have to share in your misery. So now you're having this group pity party. That man, I did everything I was supposed to do. I even found this bald head dude from Jersey, Principal Kafele. I think he called himself Kafeli, whatever it is. And I watched his videos over and over, and I watched his academy, and other people have been talking to me, and I still didn't get the job, man. Oh man, oh, I'm so frustrated. I'm so disappointed, man. I'm so ticked off. I'm so discouraged by this. Maybe I should just stay in the classroom or do whatever or try something else. Come on, man. Come on. It's another interview coming. And that's your attitude right now. That's what you got. That's what you bringing. That's not going to work. See, that's not going to work. You got to maintain that optimism. That's why I chose that word this week. You can't quit on your dream, but you can't even be frustrated. Let me keep going. It gets deeper. Letter D, you must avoid the temptation to quit on your dream at all costs. I covered that in the opening message, so I don't need to say much on it, but you must avoid the temptation. See, once you hear no enough times, I know Marcus Jackson is on here somewhere because I saw him earlier, and I know he says something. If that number, you could hit me up, Dr. Jackson, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think you said something like 15 rejections before you got your first administrative position, if I remember that correctly. And y'all know the great Dr. Marcus Jackson today is big time, internationally known, but he endured and withstood those rejections, and now here it is. Many of you look forward to what's in his head, his message that he puts on social media to help you with your practice. But he could have quit and maybe become an accountant. He could have quit and maybe become a manager of a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? He could have done these things, but he said, nah, you rejected me. The first one, okay, we'll chalk that up. One, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hey, Dr. Jackson, number 16, we want to hire you. See, that's how that works. Now look at Dr. Marcus. They got books on the market. He's internationally renowned. He's a turnaround principal. He's a turnaround assistant superintendent. I mean, but had he quit, I mean, it's easy. Like maybe number 6, man. Later for this stuff, man. I don't need this. Now maybe number 8, right? Like later for this. I don't need this, man. Let me find. I got degrees. I got my doctorate. Let me do something else. Nah, you don't quit on your dream. Hit me up, Marcus Jackson. Tell me something. So I'm saying to you, that's Marcus Jackson says same suit. See, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. He's walking up in there with the same suit. Somebody said, Ohio girl said, wow, yeah, I'm telling you about Marcus. Ohio girls, I mean, Marcus said, same suit. See? That so if you sitting here watching right now, whether live or you'll see the recording later, and you frustrated, you disappointed, you discouraged, all that kind of stuff, look, calm that down, right? Calm that down, right? And follow what I'm saying to you today. I'm taking my time singing these love songs, y'all. Let me keep going. Now, somebody checked in late. They like, what did he just say? What? You're gonna have to rewind and watch the video, right? So let me keep it moving. I don't even know what letter I'm on. Here I am. You must understand. Oh, here I am. Letter E. You must understand that a setback is a vehicle to a new opportunity. Now, I know my man, Willie Jolly, motivational speaker, he wrote a book, A Setback is a setup for a comeback, right? A setback is a setup for a comeback. I tweaked it a little bit, right? Not to take anything away from him, but I just don't want to be stealing my man's stuff, right? I'm saying to you, a setback is a vehicle. Like, think about it as a car. A setback is a vehicle to a new opportunity. Do you hear me? A setback is a vehicle to a new opportunity. A setback is not a loss. So if this is the car, here's the interview. You weren't hired. All right, let me jump in my car. And new destination, new opportunity. See, that's how that works, y'all. Right? Setback is a vehicle to a new opportunity. That's how you got to see that. That's how you got to see. Let me keep it moving, y'all, because somebody checked in today because you frustrated, right? You. Let me keep going. Letter F. This is a big one. I put it in bold print. Some candidates are just a better fit. What am I saying? I might have to get a little spiritual on this one. See, that job wasn't meant for you. In some cases, it was meant for somebody else. So in other words, let me just get a little spiritual on this one. God, he let you go on the interview, but he did not intend for you to get this job, because what's meant for you is for you. So he said, I'm gonna let you go on the interview. I'm gonna let you gain that experience. But I don't want you in that position. That's not for you. There's so many circumstances about that school, that district. That's not the one I want you in. I just want you to go sit through the interview. What's for you, God said, is for you. So now you went to these series of interviews just to get a feel for the interview. But then God said, I ain't gonna stay with. I gotta hit God on this one. Then God said, now I'm gonna send you over here, down in this little town over here. That's yours. Just go in there and do what you gotta do. That's yours. See. So in other words, some candidates are just a better fit. So that particular position, it was for them. That wasn't meant for you. Everything's not for everybody. Right? A lot of people say to me, I hear this so often, y'all hear me. They say, Cafe Lady, you need a bigger platform, right? They say you need to be on TV. I see TV, like I was on TV last week, but that ain't my point. Like I see TV happening, right? And here's what I say to them all the time. I say, look, I don't want that. You don't see me on TV because I don't want to be on TV. I want to stay below the radar. Right? I like just where I'm at. If someone said, if you could change your life and make it different or better, what would you do? Here's my answer. Nothing. I'm in the house I want to be in. I got the wife I want. I got the kids I want. I got the life I want. I got the finances I want. Ain't nothing I want. Right? So in terms of my work, my platform and all that, it's right where I want it to be. I don't want to be on your CNN channel and your news channel. I want to be on YouTube. Right? I want to be on Facebook. I want to stay beneath the radar. I don't want to be open to all these folks throwing darts at me. I want to stay right where I am. This is my fit. But the person that may have less experience than me, watch this, y'all, because I'm tying it into this presentation. The person that has less experience than me, the person that hasn't walked the miles that I've walked, the person that hasn't written what I've written, the person that doesn't have the influence that I have, might wind up on the TV every day. And people say, well, Kafele, he hasn't done half of what you've done. But that's for him. That's for her. That's not for me. I know what I want. I hope y'all understand that. I hope you hear me loud and clear. Even my speaker colleagues who are watching, because I know it's a few of y'all out there, right? I hope you hear me. Sometimes the fit is for somebody else. that which is yours, you got to figure that out. Whether you do it on the spiritual level that I was talking about, or the secular, whatever it is, you got to understand that every position's not for everybody. You got to make sure that you are very, very, very specific in targeting those areas that you feel that will benefit your skill set, and your skill set will benefit that position. Right? Hope I made that clear. Letter G. You're not always going to bring your A game to every situation. Man, what's he saying? You're not always going to bring your A game to every situation. In other words, as much as I want to be on fire, I know every presentation I'm not my best. I haven't been my best on all of these. Some of these presentations, I feel like I look at the video later, I'm like, I want to delete that one. Right? But I'm not going to do it because I know people watch them throughout the week. But we're not going to be our best self every time you walk outside. That's my point. So you can't beat up on yourself, because I'm telling you, if you expect you're going to be the best version of you every time you walk out the door, you setting yourself up for failure. You're not going to be the best you every time out. So you may just didn't interview good that day. So you're not going to beat yourself up over it. It just wasn't your day. You were prepared. You did everything you needed to do to prepare, but it just wasn't the best you that day for whatever the reason. I've been there as a teacher, as a principal, as a presenter, as a human being. It's not every day's not my best day. So I'm not going to beat up on myself about it. And I'm saying to you, if you know you didn't interview the way you wanted to interview, okay, learn from it, because we're going to talk about that in a second. But don't beat yourself up because the best you didn't show up. It just happens. It's life. I know sometimes I'm on the stage doing a keynote and I'm like, man, where are these words coming from that I'm using? You know, like words I haven't used in decades. How's this flow the way it is, right? And it's like everything is just on point. I'm like, oh my God, I'm feeling good. And I'm doing what I'm doing. The crowd stand up or stand ovation. Then I try to replicate it at the next one, and it's not flowing the same way. Because I might not be able to do it twice. I may not be able to replicate that. That was just a great day. So you got to understand human nature. Sometimes you're just not going to be at your elite level, but you can still study it to figure out why. See, to figure out why. To learn from the mistake, to learn from the deficiency, to learn from the flaw, to learn from the setback, to learn from just the fact that, man, I just wasn't the same guy today. Right? Enough said, let's keep it moving. Letter H under number 2, the interview must always be a two-way street. Woo! What's he saying? Look, sometimes this was some of you forget because you're so desperate for that job. You're not just being interviewed. Always keep in your mind you interviewing the person interviewing you. You're interviewing them. You're interviewing the district. You're interviewing the school. Because, I mean, don't ever allow yourself, as much as you want the position, the increase in salary, if that's a motivation. It was not for me, right? But if it is, don't let yourself get to a point where you desperately need this job that you will take anything. Even though they offer you the position, as I just said, it might not be for you. So as they're interviewing you, you've got to be interviewing them without them realizing that. So that you're determining, wow, if they offer me a position, is this really what I want? Is this really what I see myself doing? So make sure that it's a two-way street. There's not one interview going on in that room. There are two interviews going on simultaneously. And see, when you do that, you're elevating yourself in your mind that look, I matter. And I got to be in the best place. So let me see if this is a place that deserves me. See? Not just going in there, I want this job, but does this place deserve a person like me? Does this place deserve my skill set? Does this place deserve my energy, my time? See, you got to look at it that way as well. It's a two-way street. It's not just them interviewing you. You are interviewing them. Let me keep moving. I ain't think this was going to take this long, y'all, but I'm still, it won't be like last week. And some of you wrote me, you didn't mind last week's length. So, we try to balance it. Let me keep going. I'm on letter I under number 2. The district may already have their candidate and the interview is just a formality. Woo. It could be superintendents watching right now and they say, man, why you go there, Kafele? You know you're not supposed to be putting that out there public like that. Y'all, I'm 60 years old, man. I'm liable to say anything at this age. Right? So let me say this to you. Legally, they have to interview candidates, right? Legally. So you being there just might be them just fulfilling their legal obligation. They may have zero intention on interviewing you, but here's where you come in. Watch this. They got their person, right? They got their person. I've been there. I've known in certain interviews I had, might have been all of them, that I was their guy, but I still had to go through the process. Here's my point. They got their person pegged, and legally they have to interview. You might want to put your ear to your speaker on this one. They've got their person, but where you come in, you're going to be so impressive that they start having second thoughts on the person that they've identified, the person that they've already pegged for the job. You are going to go in there so impressive that they get back, that when you leave, they have a meeting. Hey, look, y'all, I mean, I know we said Dr. X was going to be our guy, but you saw her. You heard what she said. You saw her demeanor. You saw that confidence. We need to rethink this, right? That's who you want to be. And even if they feel they can't depart from the decision that was made, at least now you're on the radar. See, you're on the radar. And they'll be thinking about you for that next position, that next opportunity. So I'm saying again, the district may already have their candidate and the interview is just a formality. That's okay. You go into that interview and you show them, no, I'm that person. See, I'm that person. And you come out of there feeling so confident that you were so impressive in what you did. Hit that retweet button for me. Hit that share button for me. And last one, letter J under number 2. Acceptance that this particular principalship was just not meant for you, right? And I kind of went off script on the other one and talked about that, so I'm just wrapping it up here. Just the acceptance that this one wasn't for you. Yours is coming. It's waiting for you. It's waiting for your resume, right? Let's go to number 3. After your interview, did I dissect my game film? Let me read that to you again. After my interview, did I dissect my game film? What am I saying? I'm saying you don't leave the interview and now just resume life. You leave the interview, now find some quiet time to watch your film. You know, in the world of sports, you've heard me say this in previous interviews, previous sessions, that in the world of sports, the athletes watch the film of the game. They don't practice for the next opponent until they've broken down the film. They dissect it, they break it down, they analyze it, they critique it, right? And then they start to prepare for the next opponent based on the analysis of the film. I'm saying to you, you got to break your film down now. You can't just go resume life, but find some quiet time and now go back and run through the interview. Five phases. I'm gonna give them to you quick because I've done this several times in previous videos. You can watch some of the old ones. Self-reflection, self-assessment, self-adjustment, self-improvement, self-actualization. Let me just give you the brief commentary to each. Self-reflection. Now let me just watch me. Just go look into your mind's eye and watch you in terms of that entire interview. Self-reflection, self-assessment, critique you, evaluate you, be your own worst critic, evaluate your performance. right? Just looking at you in your mind's eye, got your eyes closed, and you're looking at you in that interview from the time you walked in. Self-adjustment through that critique, and you got, while you're doing that critique, that self-assessment, you're writing, you're journaling, and then you're journaling so that you can make the adjustment. That's the self-adjust. So that when you go back to the next interview, you are going in there self-improved. And then as you're going through the process toward when you eventually get the job or whenever someone hires you, you're striving always for self-actualization, being the best that you can be in that interview. So again, self-reflection, self-assessment, self-adjustment, self-improvement, self-actualization. That's it for number 3. Number 4, was I fully prepared for the interview? I got these 3 points I want to raise here. Number 1, did I demonstrate that I knew everything that I could know about the school? Now, I don't need to go deep into that because that was the video number 45. So if you didn't see 45 on the interview itself, then watch that, right? Watch that particular video. Did I demonstrate that I knew everything that I could about the school, assuming that you knew what school you were interviewing for? If you didn't, then knowing as much as you could about the district. Secondly, did I demonstrate that I know the superintendent? What's he talking about? Before I break that one down, let me go back to that first one. Did I demonstrate that I knew everything about the school? In other words, I'm asking you, were you prepared for the interview? And if you went into that interview and you did not know that school when you were told what school it was for, then you may as well have not shown up. You didn't do your homework. You didn't do your research. You didn't do your studying. Why bother? Because if you come to me for an interview and I ask you questions about the school that you're interviewing for and you can't answer, I don't want you. Right? And I told you that last week. So the second one, did I demonstrate that I know the superintendent? What do you mean? How am I know the superintendent? Let me remind you, this is the year 2021, and there's something called social media out there. So now, if I'm going to interview and I know the superintendent is going to conduct the interview, or maybe an assistant superintendent, I'm going to Twitter and I'm going to find this person and I'm going to follow this person and I'm going to read what they tweet. I'm going to read the things that they put on their page, if it's not a direct tweet from their brain, but just different things that they post. So that now when I go to that interview, I can speak intelligently, not only about the job, but about the superintendent and his or her vision and mission, because I've studied what they write on Twitter. I shouldn't even be telling you this on social media like this, but I am, right? Somebody out there in the world, you never even thought about doing that. If the person's going to interview you, why not get to know the person? Right? And the best way to get to know them outside of having the one-on-one, think about it, y'all. If for those of you that follow me on social media, you kind of know me. Professionally speaking, and to a lesser extent personally, and to a lesser extent politically. You kind of know me. I kind of put a lot of stuff out there that's reflective of who I am. So if you were to come and meet me and you trying to impress me and you start dropping on me some information about me, and I'm not thinking about the fact I had this on Twitter, I'm like, whoa, that's impressive. And then you say to me, yeah, I figured, well, I will follow you on Twitter because I knew I was going to meet you. That might be, listen, somebody, I got to say this one loud too because my voice came back. That might be the one thing that you said that makes me reconsider the one I had pegged for the job. Because that's going to impress me. That's going to impress the heck out of me. You thought to follow me on Twitter? And now you shared some of that here in the meeting? Because it's not like it was secretive. He put it on Twitter as a public platform. Or maybe he or she has videos on YouTube. and there's some pertinent information there. See, in other words, I'm saying you got to be thinking outside the box. Now, I know that because I'm on a public platform, I'm telling this to, thousands of people watch this on YouTube. So I know I'm telling thousands of people. So if you go in the interview, it might not be as unique as it would have been like 5 minutes ago, right? Had I told you in a private conversation. But still in all, I'm saying to you, do your homework. Position yourself that, wow, this person is more impressive than the one that we had slated for the position in the first place. This person is thorough, confident, convincing, and compelling. Wow. Let me keep it moving, y'all. Did I speak in a thorough, confident, convincing, and compelling way about the following? Now, these were the subheadings from last week, so I'm not going to elaborate on any of them. I'm just going to put them out there. On raising achievement levels, instructional leadership, school and classroom equity, cultural responsiveness, cultural relevance, professional development, student motivation, school and classroom climate and culture, supervision of APs and staff, keeping staff and APs motivated, data analysis, master scheduling, planning and organization, budgeting, parental and community engagement, leadership strengths and weaknesses, managing a building as it relates to the overall facility. I don't have to elaborate on any of those because I spent 2 hours on them last week. I'm asking you, as you think about whether or not you were prepared, did you speak thoroughly, confidently, convincingly, and compellingly about those areas as they were asked or as you volunteered? I remember, and I gave you this example last week. I'm gonna give it to you again. I remember, I was interviewed by a couple of educators yesterday, podcast, and they asked me certain questions. That's obviously an interview. That's what they're gonna do. But I had my own agenda. I told you this last week. They asked me questions, but I had my own agenda. So as they asked me the questions, I answered them like going like this, and then I went like that. So here's the answer to the question. I just do it in movement of my hands. So here's the answer. But then as I finished the answer, then I went like this. Like that there, right? Now let me give you what I really wanted to say. I gave you what you were looking for. But now matter of fact, let's go this way. I gave you what you were looking for, but now let me get deep and go down here. See, that's how that works. And you got to understand how to do that. The superintendent might not be asking you the questions that you really feel you need to convey relative to the answers. See, so you got to be strategic in how you answer. Let me keep moving. Number 5. It's short for the rest of this. We good on time. Did I come across as being knowledgeable of what the principalship entails? I got no indicators for this one. Did I come across as being knowledgeable about what the principalship entails? I mean, are you sitting there like somebody? Every now and then I'll get invited. Someone will say, "Would you speak on X, Y, and Z?" And I'm thinking, man, that money looked real good, but I'm not. This is not my thing. I'm not knowledgeable in this. So either I got to do all this homework to get knowledgeable, and I've done that. It's within education, so it's still my passion, but I had to do all this reading. And then I came across as if I was like an expert and I really only knew was what I read. So sometimes we got to roll that way, but other times it's like, okay, you're not in your lane. So I'm saying that if you striving for a principalship, you must be in your lane. So you got to know your stuff. So so just you in the interview, you have to come across like you know the principalship, not from a practical standpoint because you haven't done it, but you are well versed, you're conversant, and in your AP experience, your supervisory experience, whatever it is, you know your stuff. You're able to sit there, kind of like you're not going to sit back and chill because then that's arrogant and cocky, which I'm going to get into in a minute. But you want to be able to sit up straight and look into their eyes, and I'm gonna talk to you about eye contact too. But you want to be able to look at them, and they feel like, wow, this person is really prepared. This person is thorough. This person is confident. This person is convincing. This person is compelling. I feel like I want this person on my team. So as I transition to number 6, let's go back to the first hour. And I said, frustration and discouragement and disappointment and sadness. After all what you've heard thus far, you better snap out of it. Let's go. Number 6. Was I mentally prepared for the interview? In other words, have you preached enough affirmations to yourself leading up and on the day of that you felt like, yeah, I'm ready. I've convinced my mind. I've exercised my mind to convince me that I am ready for this interview. I am mentally ready to make it happen today. And then the second part to this question was, I'm mentally prepared, convincing myself that I'm ready and that the school will be better because I lead it. You guys know I wrote this book here. Is my school a better school because I lead it? I believe in that question. I believe every leader should ask themselves this question every day. And I'm saying to you, you got to be, as you're mentally preparing, you got to convince yourself that not only are you ready, but that the school will be better because you lead it. Man, that matters. Frustration, disappointment, sadness, discouragement, snap out of it. Your position is out there waiting for you. Number 7, I'm moving quick. Was I emotionally prepared for the interview? In other words, the contrast with the mental, sometimes you just gotta exhale, y'all. You got to bring it down. Got to bring it down. See, just, that meditation, right? That introspection, right? That inner dialogue with yourself, right? That I got this. And if I don't get hired, it's okay. It's okay. Because there are other opportunities out there. You got emotionally, you gotta settle down. You gotta be calm. And you gotta relax. So you gotta exhale, you gotta relax. That's my only 2 points there, right? You gotta be emotionally ready, right? And here's why I'm getting to it. Matter of fact, let me just throw this one in and then we're gonna go right to it. How early did I arrive for the interview? Because if you got there late, then it's going to be hard for you to maintain that emotional control that you need, because now you all amped up because you didn't arrive late. So remember, to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. And to be late is to have never shown up at all. See, so you got to get there early, because you need time for that one last dose of mental preparation and emotional preparation. You don't want to come running into an office and then the receptionist or the secretary says, "Oh, okay, come right on in. He's waiting for you. She's waiting for you." No, you need some time to sit in that office and like, all right, I got this. I got this. I got it. I got it. I'm good. I'm good. You need that time. Some of you may not have gotten the job because you didn't have that. You didn't have that. So make sure that you get there early enough to settle your nerves. Now, when I talked about, I see I skipped one, man. Let me go back. I skipped them. So 7 was emotionally prepared, and then I said 8, but your numbers don't matter. But number 8. And then the one I just did was number 9. So time was 9. Number 8 was my appearance presentable for the interview. Your appearance. What's your clothing look like? Right? You may be coming out of a classroom and not have a closet full of suits. No problem. Just make sure that suit that you have, business suit, woman or male. Just make sure that business suit is, to use a slang, make sure it's fly. Right? When I say fly, I don't mean extravagant, right? Just it's tight, it's good. Now tight's a slang too. Somebody might misunderstand that one too. Make sure that it looks very professional. See, them slangs ain't working right now. Make sure it's very professional looking, right? It's ironed. It's no lint, little lint balls, get them off, right? When your dress shirt underneath, you know, you got your button all the way up, you got your tie on, the knots all the way, you're looking right. Because, you know, sometimes people, you know, men put on a tie and not thinking about it, not all over here somewhere crooked, you know. No, check yourself out and make sure you look the way you want to look, right? So now, oh, and your shoes are shine. Unshined shoes could turn folks off if they're meant to be shined, depending on what the material is made out of. Make sure you walk in there with some worn out leather, some worn out heel. Man, listen, y'all, I wasn't even going to go here. I'm going though. Them heels are worn out, like you down to the sole. You might lose. You might not get hired for that because it's speaking about you. Yeah, the heel of your shoe is speaking to who you are. So make sure you know you looking like what it is you want to be. So your appearance, your clothing, right? You got your beard. You know, in the older videos, I had a certain perspective on that. I think I've kind of tempered that a little bit. You got your beard. Just make sure it's groomed. That's all. Make sure it's groomed. Look your best. Your appearance matters, and your appearance is your representative. It speaks for you before you've uttered the first word. Now, that was 8. How early do I arrive was number 9. Now number 10. Number 10 is a big one, and then it's all downhill from there. After number 10 is downhill. I'll be done. I'll be done with this no later than 12:30, maybe before that. How was my overall demeanor during the interview? This is that self-reflection, self-assessment, self-adjustment, right? How was my demeanor? I can go through these quickly. I mean, I got a whole lot of indicators, but I don't need to elaborate much. Did I come across as being anxious? So you gotta look at your film. You gotta analyze your film. When I say film, I'm talking about your self-reflection. I'm talking about your mirror. You gotta analyze. My mother said, clean the mirror off. Hey, mom, look, it's clean. See, no more fingerprints. My mother said, why you keep putting that mirror up and you got all those fingerprints all over the mirror? So because of my mother, I cleaned the mirror. See that, mom? She watching too. She probably laughing. So now, did I come across as being anxious? Right? See, that's not going to help you. So don't be too. No. Relax. It's a conversation. That's all it is. It's a conversation couched in an interview. Did I come across as being nervous? Yeah. Talk to me about instructional leadership, candidate. No. You might want to practice, right? Because you seem nervous. So make sure that that's that mental, emotional preparation. And remember, just because you want the job badly and you're being interviewed by someone who's probably a powerful individual, if it's a superintendent, assistant superintendent, whatever it is, or committee, remember, and I'll say it again, remember, they put on their pants just like you. See, they might have a title. See, sometimes we get caught up into their title that we think they almighty. See, I don't look at people like that. You big time celebrity, big time business person, big time governmental. If I have the opportunity to meet you, I don't get all sweaty palmed over you. I'm like, all right, you doing what you do, and I do what I do, and I ain't looking up to you like, oh my God, it's him. No, not me. Not me. I mean, I mean, if I was a teacher, then I've done big work. If I was a school leader, I've done the big work. If I've written, whatever. So don't go on that interview and because they have a powerful position, you in there all nervous. Like, no, because at the end of the day or to start the day, they're going to put on their pants just like you, one leg at a time. I ain't looking at nobody superior to me. Not me. I hope you don't either. Right? So now let's keep it moving. Did I come across as being boring? Y'all wouldn't even be tuning in watching this stuff if I was boring. See, did I come across as being boring? Talk to me about master scheduling. Well, it's very important that the program drives the schedule, and I understand that fully. So I'm not going to put the schedule together devoid of the program. I'm going to make sure that the program drives what I do. Man. And here's me on the other side interviewing you. With secretary, can you give me a cup of coffee? See, you can't be boring. Now, I'm not saying you got to be charismatic, because that could be too over the top too. But just it's a conversation. And think about it, you're gonna be a leader. How you gonna lead and you boring everybody? You leading and the staff's bored, the students bored, the parent, everybody's sleeping while you leading. Right? So you can't be boring. You don't have to be charismatic, but you can't be boring. Did you come across as boring? Letter D. Did I come across as being cocky? Now, I told you, those of you that have been riding with me from the beginning, I told you this illustration before in a different context, but I'm going to share it with you again. I interviewed for a position. I went in there cocky. I'm going to admit that. But I felt like I didn't need the job. I had a job. I didn't have reason to lead the job. I just was leaving because I just wanted a new scenery. That's all it was. I loved the job I was at. I was a principal. I loved it. We were elevating. We were doing big things. The superintendent believed in me, but I just wanted new scenery. So if I didn't get the job, I was good with that because I had no reason to leave. So I got to couch it that way. So Jason Kidd was playing for the Nets at the time, New Jersey Nets, and he was the hottest guard in the NBA at the time, but outside of Kobe, right? So now, but over here, Kobe on the West Coast. So over here, it was all about Jason Kidd. So he was the point guard. I walk into the meeting, the interview, they got a committee. It's like 15 people at the table. I walk into the room, they looking at me, they said, good morning, Mr. Kafele. I walk into the room, I'm getting ready to grab the chair, and I said, I'm the Jason Kidd y'all been looking for. You need not look any further. And I sat down and went like this. Them people looked at me like, I can only imagine now, years later, what they were thinking. This is back in 2002. That's when it was. It was a long time ago. So now, but when I was driving, so they asked me like 5 questions. I think to myself, maybe I was too cocky and arrogant, right? So when I was driving back home, the superintendent called me. He said, "Wow, that was some entrance." He said, "You want the job?" I said, "Yeah, I want it." He said, "Okay." I was one of them people that was pegged for the job, right? So I got it. But what got it for me was the entrance because of that confidence. But it was cocky. I can admit that. Right? Listen, y'all, like right now, like Steph Curry, LeBron James, and them kind of people, Kawhi Leonard, they hot right now, right? Don't walk in the interview because you listen to me now, and now you walk in there. I'm the LeBron. I can't even say it, y'all. I can't even say it. I can't say it, man, because I'm laughing. Listen, I'm the LeBron James you've been looking for. Don't do that, right? Don't do that, y'all. I'm turning red, but don't do that, right? That's not gonna work, right? I'm the Steph Curry you've been looking for, and then you do one of these. See? Don't go in there with that, right? Just go in there. Don't go in there cocky, right? Just go in there with that confidence, right? I see what you said, Sheikah Houston. Yeah, but it was cocky, man. I mean, I look back on it now. So the question was, did I come across as being cocky? Nobody want to hear that. It just worked for me at that time. Maybe it worked with my personality, right? Did I come across as being arrogant? So you sitting in the interview and you being arrogant, they don't want to hear you. They don't want to hear you. Did I come across as being intimidating? See, if you're intimidating in the interview, they know what you're going to be at the school. And no one's looking for an intimidating presence. They're looking for a confident presence, but they're not looking for an intimidating presence. So you got to make sure that you're not sitting in that office and you're an intimidating figure. But by the same token, letter G, did I come across as being intimidated? So see, they're both detrimental. So you're intimidating or intimidated. If you're intimidated in that meeting, then one could conclude it's very easy to intimidate you. And if you're intimidated, it's going to come across. It's going to come across in your body language, how you speak, your eye contact, everything. So make sure that you're not intimidated by being in that meeting. We're getting there. I'm almost done. Did I come across as lacking confidence? I don't need to elaborate on that because we've been talking about confidence all day. Letter I, did I come across as lacking fluency? Man, just the way you communicate words. Leaders are communicators, right? So you got to be fluent in your speech. You got to be fluent, right? You know, I'm not talking about speech impediments, that type of thing, but I'm just saying in terms of your conversation, right? And remember last week I said no dead air, like a radio interview. You can't have dead air. When you listen to a talk show on radio, you're never going to hear these quiet moments. And if you do, something's wrong. It's constant. So the people, the radio personalities, they're trained that when one stops speaking, the other one, bam, right there. Ain't no pause, and then the person comes unless it's for effect, right? So it's got to be fluent, right? Letter J, did I come across as being uncertain in my responses? Like I'm responding to you, but it's clear that I really don't know what I'm talking about, right? It's clear that I'm really not sure of what I just said. So you got to make sure that as you articulate, you coming across as if you know what you're talking about. You're certain in what you're saying, right? Like think about it. You and I both, we've got certain things that we believe in that others don't believe with us, so they don't share in the belief. But just because I know that there are others who feel differently about a topic, about a concept, I'm not going to come across like I don't know what I'm talking about because you don't agree. I'm still going to come across as an expert, as an authority, regardless of the fact that everyone doesn't agree with where I'm coming from. Because I'm going to stand firm on what I believe. Hit that share button, hit that retweet. I'm almost done. Last time for that. Letter K. Did I come across as being uncomfortable? See, if that comes across, I mean, it speaks volumes as to who you are. I'm going to keep it going. Letter L, did I come across as being unpleasant? See, are you pleasant in that interview? I mean, I'm almost done, but just look at all since 11 o'clock, all these variables that could be costing you the job. And sometimes we just get mad. Oh, man, they didn't want me. They had someone else to stop. But there's so many variables to this, right? So did they come across as being, did I come across as being unpleasant? Letter M, did I come across as being unenergetic or lacking energy? Again, I'm not asking for you for charisma, but I'm saying you bringing energy to that interview. Like you're coming across as someone that's going to bring that energy, that fire, that flame, that enthusiasm, that excitement to that school. Because again, if you coming in there with no energy, you boring, then what's that say about who you are as a leader? Next, letter N, did I come across as being unenthusiastic? Got to show that, got to demonstrate that enthusiasm for what you do. Letter O, did I come across as being unprepared? And we talked about that. I'm going all the way to letter S, so we're at O now. Letter P, here's a big one. How was my eye contact? Some of you that have been with me for the whole 46 weeks, you'll recall in the earlier session, we talked about eye contact. And I said, yes, eye contact is good. But when you get to a point where your eyes are locked in to the interviewer, I mean, they locked. Wherever this person moves, your eyes move. That now it's getting creepy, right? So yes, eye contact, but not to the point, because I've been in those situations and they've been on interviews where the person thinks they got to follow my eyes. So the person made me uncomfortable because I don't sit in an interview. I'm not going to sit there staring you in your eyes because see that could send the wrong message. I'm a male, it's a young lady, and I'm locked in your eyes like that. That may send the wrong message, and then I got issues, right? So, but this particular candidate, like if I looked away, this person like looked away, went where my eyes went, and was looked like positioning their body in a way that they could follow my eyes as I was moving about. And I'm like, this is creepy. I'm not hiring this person. So make sure that the eye contact is not so much that it becomes threatening. Yes, establish it, but do look away, right? Do break that contact. Don't follow the person's eyes as they're looking around. I mean, it's just human nature. You see me do it on camera. I look up, right? I look away. I mean, it's just human nature. So when the person does that, don't feel an obligation to follow that person with your eyes, as I've experienced. That was letter P. Letter Q, how was my body language? See, remember, you can control your verbal speech, but your body is talking too. And sometimes we're not in control of that because we're not conscious of it. So you got to be conscious of what is your body saying? What is your clothing saying? What is your attire saying? What are your shoes saying? What is the fit of your clothes saying? Right? What is the coloring of your clothes? Like all those things, they matter. But how you position yourself, like let's say like a little slight slouch, just slight, like you sitting there like this here. You come to me for an interview like this, I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't getting hired. Not by me. Somebody else might, but if we doing an interview and you sitting back, you got your hands folded across your stomach right here, and you kind of sitting back like you feel very relaxed and comfortable with me, and here you are at the interview. You done. This is done. I'll ask you a couple more questions to make just as a formality. Then I say, hey, great talking to you. I'll give you a call, right? Because your body language is saying the wrong thing to me. You speaking arrogance to me. You speaking cocky to me. You speaking too comfortable for me. It's too much. I need you to understand your lane, your place in this interview. So you come in there like that, your body language is speaking the wrong language, right? So I got my Aunt Judy up in the building. Hey, Aunt Judy. So here we go. I'm almost done. Letter R. How was my overall nonverbal communication? Right? You all know I use my hands a lot, right? Some might say to a fault, right? I use my hands. This is how I speak. It's how I communicate, right? So it works for me because I guess I've mastered it. There's no thinking whatsoever. Like if I'm speaking to you guys, or I'm doing a speech somewhere, I'm not thinking, okay, raise your hand on that word and like put a lot of force. No. It's just it's like my hands are as if it was my verbal speech. So I use my hands. But if your hands are flying like mine, you make sure it's not in a way that it becomes a distraction, right? Because your hand, you could be like, and another thing, Principal, Superintendent, and now you have become a distraction to yourself, right? So or for the person interviewing you. So make sure that whatever your body is speaking, right, from head to toe, your body is communicating always. When you walk outside and you don't speak to people, your body did. It said something, right? Might not have said what you wanted it to say, but it said something, right? So you got to be cognizant of your body language. I'm almost done, y'all. Letter S. I said it was all the way to S. Did I close the deal? I said that last week. Did I close the deal? You got to close it. You can't do everything we talked about in week one. Last week I did 2 hours of how to interview. This week I'm at an hour and a half. And you don't close the deal? You don't let them know because you nervous? You scared to tell them I want the job? You got to close this thing. Let them know I really want this position. Not sounding desperate, but I really want this position. But remember, I distinguish features from benefits. So I want this position not because I really want it. That's the feature. The benefit, I really want this position because I just feel that the students are going to benefit from my leadership and what I have to offer. The benefit, you see the difference? The feature, I really want this position because I just think I have what it takes to be good. So I really want this position because the students and staff are going to benefit exponentially from my leadership, right? And then you could be more specific. I really want this position because achievement levels, I believe, will go through the roof. Or will soar. That might be overselling. Will soar if given the opportunity. You got to close the deal. Because if you don't close it, it's wide open. It's open. And the person knows you didn't ask for the job. When you go to the auto dealership, they're going to ask you for the sale. They're going to ask you for your business. They're going to word it that way. So you got to ask for it. You got to close the deal. Look, 11, 12, and 13 are so short, I got no indicators with them. Number 11, will I utilize all of the aforementioned information to prepare for my next interview? In other words, will I use everything I discussed today for an hour and a half and everything I discussed last Saturday for 2 hours toward going to my next interview and grand slam out of the park? Number 12, do I realize that there are other districts out there that may be a perfect fit or better fit for me? So in other words, a lot of people, they write me, man, but I really want to stay in my district for whatever the reason. There are multiple reasons. Sometimes it's close to home, but hey, that might not be for you. Sometimes you got to relocate. I see it all the time. People traveling all over the country for jobs. Sometimes you got to relocate. It's nice when you could be in the school district of the same district you were a student in growing up. I was. That's nice. But I didn't retire from there. I didn't stay there. I needed some new scenery. So I moved on. So I'm saying to you, you got to realize that life doesn't stop in your district. There's life beyond your district. There's life beyond your city. There's life beyond your county. There's life beyond your state. There's life beyond your region. Take advantage of it. It's out there. If they didn't hire you, shame on them. Their loss. But you got this. Lastly, number 13, and I'm done, y'all. Last one. I didn't go 2 hours. Last one. I just kind of threw this one in here. This was not part of my agenda. I was reading something on social media the other day, and I said to myself, I gotta add this. And it's a question. How are my writing skills? Now, you're not gonna write at the interview. I get it. But you know when you are gonna write? That cover letter. Some of y'all not even getting the interview. Not maybe. Now, I don't want to sound. That sounds harsh. Somebody that's not watching this morning, not you. Somebody out there in the world is not getting the interview because your writing skills are deficient. I see folks who should be writing better on social media. Now, of course, one could say, well, social media, you get a pass because it's just social media. Yeah, true. I agree. But here's the thing. But when you carry that title of principal and superintendent, these important education positions, I ain't giving you no pass. Especially if you writing about something important. Now, if you wrote on there something like, the Grammys were really corny last night. Okay, I'll give you a pass on that. Right? The Lakers, I don't know if they're gonna make it back without Anthony Davis. Okay, I'll give you a pass on that. But if you're on there talking about education and your grammar's poor, that's probably how you normally write. And I'm saying to you, if it is, you got some work to do. Because if you're writing like that in terms of let's say they hire you, and you're writing memos to staff on a regular basis. You're writing letters to staff. You're writing letters to parents. You're writing letters to community. You're writing letters to community stakeholders and etc. And you can't write. You don't know when to put a comma. You don't know when to put a semicolon. You don't know when to put a period. I mean, you don't know when to start a new paragraph. Because I see this stuff on social media. Then I'm saying to you, you got to work on that. And forget about the interview right now, because I'm only talking about the writing for the cover letter. When you get the job, if you can't write, them English teachers in your building, they can. And when they see that, after they finish cringing, they're going to be talking. Man, that's who's evaluating us. I'm keeping it real, y'all. I'm getting ready to close. I'm keeping it real. That's who's evaluating us. I mean, they emailing your document all over the district. How do I know this? Because I've seen it. I see this stuff. They emailing your document all over the district. They having a party at your expense on your grammar. Now, do I make typos on social media? All the time. All the time, right? I try to proofread my stuff and catch them, but I make them. But those are typos. I'm not talking about typos. Like for example, I'm trying to get this post up real quick and I forgot to type the word "the," right? I don't mean that. I mean, like you talking about their possessive, and you wrote it as THERE, right? Or whatever. Or you quoting somebody and ain't no quotation, right? I mean, whatever. Or you just run on sentence. You no period nowhere, no comma nowhere, no new paragraph anywhere. I'm saying that matters. And even if you get through the screening process and you get the job, and you're supposed to supervise staff, when they start seeing your grammar, then that's saying to them, this is who this person is. This person can't even write. And it's going to undermine your authority. It's going to undermine your leadership. You're going to be less than effective because the staff is going to see you as a joke. I know. I've been there. I was a teacher once, right? I understand it. So make sure if writing is not your area, then you get somebody to work with you, right? You get someone else to write your letters, right? See, for me, some of you use a secretary. I wasn't a secretary guy. A secretary never wrote a letter for me in my life. I never sat down in my office and dictated to a secretary what I wanted her to write. That's just not. My pride won't allow me to do that. And I don't mean that. I'm not trying to hoist that onto you all. I'm just saying with me, I just can't imagine sitting there with a secretary saying type what I'm thinking. No, what I'm articulating. I'm going to type that myself, right? So if I need the secretary to proof it, fine. But I ain't dictating nothing. But that's just me. I'm not saying it's wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that's me. So I just covered it all. Man, I spent almost 4 hours on talking about how to get a job between last week and this week. If you don't have the information you need now, I don't know where you're going to get it from, right? So take everything I said to heart, listen to other people, read their stuff, watch their video, whatever's out there, and go out there and get that job and start leading to another level and take these youngsters to heights that they never imagined that they could achieve, and staff. My parting question is just study these two videos, this video and last week's video. And then also look at all the previous virtual AP Leadership Academy sessions, 46 of them now. Next week, I'm going to resume this book. Chapter 5 is where we left off before I started doing all this interview stuff, because we're in the interviewing season. So I didn't want to put this off. So we'll be back here at Chapter 5. Tell a friend, tell a colleague, come on in. But get the book and start reading Chapter 5. That's where I'll be. And then make sure you get this as well, because I'll be moving into this soon, very soon. Aspiring Principal 50. Like and follow my virtual AP leadership page on Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Virtual AP Leadership Academy. Share it with folks. Let them know, look, here's what you missed for the past 46 weeks, but join them live next week for week 47. And we only got what we got, man. 8 more sessions to go after today, and then I'll tell you how we gonna regroup, because I'm not going nowhere, So lastly, visit principalcafele.com as well. Make sure you visit my webpage and make sure you read the Sunday commentaries that I talk, because now I do a follow-up to this as a commentary. Things I didn't talk about, I talk about in the commentary. Last week I didn't do it because I got overwhelmed. But we'll be on there tomorrow. Make sure you go to check those out as well. They're right on my social media platforms. You'll see it. Other than that, wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart. wash your hands. If your governor says the gates are open, go to your local tavern and sit right next to your friend or meet your new friend and spit on each other, right? Because that's what he's saying, right? So if your governor says that, just the gates are open, just go on to the local tavern, drink up all the beer, and just while you're drinking, just talk in each other's face, just spit flying. Right. So if that's where and I'm not being political, I want kids in schools full time. But if we're gonna bring the infection rates back up, if that's what your governor says, just ignore the governor and continue to do the right thing so that we can get real herd immunity and put the virus behind us so that we can get back to some semblance of normalcy, right? Leave the bar alone. Leave the crowded restaurant alone. Try to endure this for a little bit longer. You could do it. Just make some shifts in your life like I did. You can do it. But you got to have the will to do it. And then make sure you're eating right and you're exercising regularly. I'm getting ready to go out here and do 3 miles after I read all your comments. I'm going to read your comments first. It's about 1,000 of them on here. So I'm going to read them all, respond to those that I need to, and then I'm going to do my walking. And then whatever the day has in store for me, we're going to get it done. So I appreciate you guys checking in, and I hope that this was beneficial for you these 2 weeks of preparing for this interview. And I will see you next Saturday for week 47. And until then, have a great week. Have an extraordinary week. Have your best week yet. Peace. Peace. Thumbs up. And then cock that fist back, like way back here, and count to 3 with me. 1, 2, 3. Bam! I see you next Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern time.